Hello, my dear learners. Welcome to the video lecture on presentation. So this video lecture covers the module 5 of the English for Engineers part 2, and this is presented by me, Shaman, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Global Academy of Technology. So basically, the presentation, deals with how well you have to prepare while you are presenting something in front of a specific audience, and also it has a different types. So you will be understanding what are the different types of presentation, what is the basic outline of the presentation, how to organize your presentation, because you'll be involving in lot of presentations, maybe in your future semester for a specific topic in front of your own friends, and even if you want to present a particular topic in front of a specific audience, then you have to follow certain procedure for presenting the topic in a well effective manner. So let us see what are the contents which are present in this particular video lecture. So basically, first you need to understand what is a presentation. Then we will understand what are the different types of presentation that generally is followed, and then how to plan the presentation, organizing the presentation, basic outline, how to prepare for the presentation is very much important. So you'll know what are the things that you need to consider while you are preparing for delivering the presentation. What are the last minute tasks, and how do you answer while you are in the questionnaire time. So in this video lecture, I'll be covering three topics. So these three will be video one, and the rest of the topics will be covered in the second video. So this is how I have planned to give you better knowledge on what exactly is presentation and all those things. So let us begin by understanding what is a presentation. So basically, presentation is a speech or a talk. So in which you may present a particular product, your idea, or a piece of work. So which can be shown and it can be explained to an audience. So it generally requires preparation, organization, planning, writing, use of visual aids. It involves so many things. And if you just see the major elements of presentation, you require an audience to present either the product, idea, or a piece of work in front of them. It should be specific. The content what you're presenting should be very much specific, and it should have some visual aids. The general tendency of a human being is that they catch quickly when it is shown as a visual aid or through an image. So whereas if you are just telling it as a text, the imagination might not be that clear. So presentations are typically the demonstrations, introduction to a particular topic. It might be a lecture or the speech which is meant to do these particular activities. That is nothing but to inform people, to persuade people, inspire people, motivate them, build goodwill, or present a new idea or a product. So this is how presentation is basically is. So in this, you have understood what exactly is a presentation. You have understood what are the key elements of presentation. Of course, along with these key elements, audience, specific content, visual aids. So you need to have a speaker himself. So presenter should also be present, but he will not become a key element. But so these are the key elements that you need to keep in mind. So while you are planning for the presentation. So let's move on. So what are the different types of presentation that you have? Basically, the different types of presentation. The first one is informative presentation. So informative presentation, it is very much brief and to the point. It's so you have to stick to the facts and avoid complicated information because you're giving some information. So as the faculty are giving a lecture on a particular topic, so it has been, the information has been taken from the textbooks. So it might be, prepared in a brief manner, and they might explain you in a very good way. so that this is what the topic is, this is how the topic, these are some of the information about that topic. So that is informative type of presentation. Moving on further, the second type of presentation is instructional presentation. So in instructional presentation, for a group of people, when you want to give a specific direction or orders, so at that point of time, you have to, stick on to this type of presentation, that is instructional presentation. So next comes our arousing presentation. So what is an arousing presentation? So arousing presentation is nothing but to make the people think about a certain problem or situation. So that means to say that, in presentations such as, where motivational speakers speak on a particular topic. So when a motivational speaker is speaking, so definitely the audience, whoever are sitting there and listening to that speaker, definitely they get aroused on, a specific, domain on which the speaker is speaking. It might be based on the psychology. It might be, to make all the audience more driven towards the positive energy. So this kind of presentation belongs to arousing type of presentation. The next type of presentation is decision making. So decision making basically, comes in organizations where a group of people need to take some decisions. So where, a manager will be presenting his ideas for some problem that he has faced in his organization. So when he presents ideas in front of people, definitely they'll give suggestions, and there will be arguments. And at some point of time, so the presenter might persuade all of them, and they all may collectively come to a particular decision, and then that decision will be final. So that is what decision making type of presentation is. And then finally, persuasive type of presentation. So here, in persuasive type of presentation, the presenter is convincing the listeners to accept the proposal, whatever he is putting forth. So that is what a persuasive type of presentation is all about. So after understanding what is a presentation and understanding what are the different types of presentation, let us now understand how to plan the presentation. So basically, planning the presentation involves many things. So you cannot, directly gather the information and then start presenting in front of a group of people or an audience. There is some plan which you have to do, and that planning comes from these aspects. So that is, first, understand the objective of the presentation. So what is the objective? It is nothing but what is that, the presentation is going to achieve after you have delivered. So on a particular topic. So when you have a particular topic, you are delivering it in front of the audience. So what is that the audience is going to achieve? So what are your outcomes? Are they going to understand the information or whatever the presenting that you have done? So it might be the information that you have presented. It might be a particular facts that you have put in front of them. So what are they going to achieve? So by understanding all those things, that becomes the objective. And then comes the subject. So subject basically is your expertise. So basically the speaker will be the subject matter expert, and he will be called to present on that particular topic because he is very much experienced in that particular domain. So it might be any topic for that matter. If he is, very much good in politics, that means he is only called wherever the presentation happens to a group of people with respect to politics. If the, faculty or a person is interested in a particular topic in a domain like mechanical engineering, computer science engineering, he'll be delivering in his own expertise area. So that is the subject. So in most of the cases, the presenter himself chooses what is the topic that he has to deliver. But in some cases, the, event planners, so wherever they are planning a particular event for presenting some ideas or whatever it is, they give the topic, and you will have to prepare for that particular topic because you might be a good orator. So wherein you might put across different things in a very good way. So you will be given a topic, you prepare accordingly and then deliver the presentation. So the subject of the presentation becomes very, very important. And then comes the audience. So whom are you actually presenting the information to is very much important. So audience, you have to first think about the size of the audience. What is the size? Less than 50, more than 500? So it depends. What is the size of the group of people that you are presenting to, and the age range? What is the age range? Are you presenting it to kids? Are you presenting it to adults? Are you presenting it to employees of a particular industry? So it depends. So what is the particular age of people who are listening to your presentation? And then gender, it also becomes very much important, male or female. And then what are you there for? What are you actually doing the presentation for? Are you expecting the audience to just take all the information whatever you are delivering, or are you teaching something to the audience, or you are provoking something? So that you have to decide while you are planning the presentation. And then comes the place. So place is very much important, the place of presentation. Before the presentation, you need to check certain things at the place where you are going to present. So that means, what are the equipments available for your presentation? Do you have curtains? So curtains, if you are presenting, then if there is too much of light, then whatever you present or project it, might not be visible to the audience. So there should be curtains, so that when you close the curtains, the uh, projector also will be good enough for highlighting the contents in the presentation. Then position of light switches. You need to be well aware of the position of light switches. So if that is not known to you, then you cannot tell somebody or instruct somebody to switch on and switch off the lights. And see whether there are any distractions to you in that particular place. So when you take care of all these things, your presentation will be very good. And then the type of presentation. So when are you going to present it? So whether it is in the morning, afternoon, or evening. So ideally, morning is a very good time for presenting some things. So if it is informational, so again, it depends upon what type of presentation it is. If it is a decision making presentation, whatever the time it is, so it does not matter whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening. Say for example, a theory topic is taken and it is scheduled in the afternoon, immediately after the lunch. Definitely, if the topic is not interesting, so people will doze off. So that is the consideration that you have to make while you are planning for the presentation. So again, when you have that time in mind, that when you are going to present, so you can plan. Say for example, if it is in the afternoon, then to avoid dozing off while the presentation, the speaker might plan to do some activities so that people are uh, more likely engaged with the presenter. So that is how you can take into consideration for different type of activities, what type of presentation that you do, whether it will be one-way communication, two-way communication. It all depends upon the time. Then last aspect that you have to consider is the length of the talk. So what is that length of the presentation that you are going to do? If the organizer says that it is going to be 1 hour of presentation, then you need to plan in such a way that you have to deliver the information or the topics, whatever is given to you or you have chosen, in 45 minutes, and then leave the other 10 or 15 minutes for taking the questions. So that is very much important. You cannot always plan the presentation to the entire time, whatever is allotted to you. So you have to keep or allot some time for taking the questions from the audience. So this is how you generally plan your presentation. When you take into consideration all these things, your presentation will definitely be very effective. So these were the contents that I had to explain to you in the first video. So let us just look into a couple of questions, how you might get the questions based on the presentation. So here the first question is, a presentation is a form of oral communication in which person shares factual information with an audience that is, whether it is specific or small audience, large audience, or a mixed audience. So always the factual information is shared with a group of people or an audience who are specific to that particular topic. So it cannot be small or large or mixed. So let us get into the next question. To select the content of your presentation, you should know. So as a presenter, before you select the content for your presentation, what is more important? Whether it is the purpose of the presentation. Option B is time limit. So what is the time limit? Option C is available material. What is the available material? Option D is your audience. So out of these, the most important thing that you should know while you are selecting the content of your presentation is the time limit. What is the allocated time for you? Whether it is half an hour, 1 hour, or 2 hours. So based on the time limit, then you can, gather the information, that is the available material. Then you can think about engaging your audience. Then the purpose. So most important thing is time limit. So this is how you might expect the questions for this particular module. So I hope you have understood the definition of presentation, the types of presentation, and planning the presentation. So let us see the other topics in the next video. So thank you.